While y'all coming in. Okay, here we go. Come on in and chat with the chief. First one, first serve. When I see you in there, I'm going to call you up. Right, we're going to chat with the people on the land. Try to get a pulse for what's going on in real time. And probably share a little bit of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right? So, whoever want to come in, y'all just send me the request. And we can start chopping it up. Don't nobody want to talk? Ain't getting no requests. I should have at least one. There go one. First come, first serve. KG80. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if y'all hear everything okay. Yeah, I just got done rolling up, so I know the feeling. Peace, God.
Peace, God. What's going on, brother?
Just taking it easy. You total darkness over there. Try to see if I can't bring you into the light.
Yeah, let me flip the light real quick. I'm laying down. But I just had a question that I got a few questions, but I just want this one question. I want to see, do you know it? I don't know if you're paying attention to the situation that's going on with the YSL RICO case. I want to do that have anything going on with the judicial system?
Well, every case that's going into court goes through the judicial system. The judicial system is the court system. So anybody in court is in the judicial system. They are tied up with them people.
So that is a separate entity from what's going on with the government, is what you're saying, in a sense?
No, it's all tied together.
Do you think that is like a basically like that's scripted? Because I feel like it's scripted in a sense.
Which cases you talking
with
about?
Young Thug and all those.
Oh yeah, Young Thug's situation is he was making money, and he was trying to hold on to ownership to his masters and distribution, and they didn't want him to keep it.
Okay.
That's what they gave him a case, but that ain't what he fighting.
I believe that.
He really fighting to be the master of his own destiny, and they designed it as a criminal prosecution. The same with Young Dolph. Young Dolph case got some anomalies in it, but I know that Empire Records was trying to cash in an insurance policy on him and also seize his masters because they was his distributor. Right. And if he's gone, then that's a loss to the company that they can recoup through the insurance agencies. That's what Soulja Boy, right after Dolph situation came on and was like, we don't move like that in Memphis. That's somebody else. He knew it wasn't homegrown, so he had to put it out in the public domain, and I caught it. He don't know who them people is on their land. All of the chiefs in the town know there's imposters on the land, but they don't know who they are and what to do about them. But they know how they move. They move funny style.
And so that's another reason why, because I feel like you're saying that it's chiefs on the land and that they all know their position. And I just feel like if they in a higher up role as far as like with notoriety and influence on the people, because like I pay attention to stuff like that, like with people with high influences and whatnot. So when I come into the realization of what's going on, it's kind of hard to decipher is who really like standing for us and actually will make the initiative to speak the truth. You feel me? Especially we got an influence, but if it's still in the age of as to if you speaking the truth, you still could get persecuted, then that's understandable. But if we in the age of that everything is falling down, I don't understand as to why like most of the influences that
Okay, this will make it real easy for you to understand. until our people put us back in power, they gonna run this simulation till they can't run it no more.
Hmm.
That's all they can do. So police gonna be trying to arrest folks. Not all police, because some of them got stickers on the back of their car, basically saying that they off duty permanently. They just driving the car around town. There's a couple cities got those cars with the sticker on them. I think it's like 9 active duty police officers, some shit. And they running out of money, and they just trying to they doing all of these shenanigans to look like they in power and that they stronger than they really is. That's the art of war. When you weak, appear strong. When you strong, appear weak. It's a grand delusion. So until we take this shit all the way back over, they're not gonna stop doing whatever they can get away with. They only gonna do what they can get away with.
And we the ones
Period.
supposed to hold them accountable.
Yep. But right now we gotta hold them accountable by listening to people like Chief Warhorse telling us what's been going on so we can get caught up to where we at now. Right? So if she giving you the background, I'm telling you in real time. And then the oracles is flipping out the near future.
You say oracles, those are the tarot readers, if I'm not mistaken.
They use different means, but they seers. They can see and translate spiritually into the common language so you can understand what spirit is saying.
Cool. Well, that was all my questions that I had for you as far as that. I appreciate you, brother R.A.'s.
All right, appreciate you too, nephew. I'm gonna take another caller in now.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Got this layer. Come on in here and give my eyes a hug.
Peace. How you doing?
Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
Good. I'm so excited. I just love you. I feel like, oh no, I feel like I'm like you really my uncle. Like we really family.
I'm glad I had that effect on you.
Yes, you do. So I have a question for you because I was speaking to Brother Bedell not too long ago, and he told me that he had spoke with you in regards to this young lady. Her name is Elena Danan. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Not right off, but me and Bedell only had a couple of conversations, so it won't be hard for me to figure out.
Okay, so they have this book. It's called The Cedars, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Okay, and so it's by Elena Danan, and she was talking about that she had an encounter with Inky,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she was saying how Enlil is gone. He's not on Earth anymore.
No, they jacked his ass.
Okay, so
He
he's
got
gone.
snatched up out of proverbial collar.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hearing. And then it also said like a lot of the grays are gone off of Earth too.
Yeah, those were the ones they was laboratory creations used for experimental purposes in hostile places. So yeah, most of them are gone.
Okay,
Most
so
of the ones that you're gonna see don't look no different than a regular human that you would see. And they got every color. So
okay, so I had a couple questions, right? So one of the questions I had was about they say that it's billions of people here on Earth. And I feel like a lot of people here who are here are like how do you put it? Bots. More like bots.
NCPs, 9 character
Right.
players.
So is it really billions of people that are here on Earth or no?
That's what they tell us. It's supposed to be 8.4 billion. I personally don't believe it.
Okay. That's one of the questions I had. The other question that I had was so right now they said that a lot of the galactic federations came back and they're here now because a lot of they don't have any power. Like a lot of the old people who were here, who were infiltrating us, don't have any more power anymore.
That's true.
Okay, so
So what happened on Earth, we had a nuclear holocaust.
mhm,
And on the heels of that, it affected other star systems. And because other star systems was affected, a coalition that we call the Galactic Council moved in on an area that was unrestricted. It was an unrestricted free will universe. But during the Kali Yuga, we was just under. It was a restricted free will universe, meaning that the ones there, they can remain and use their free will to try to break free, but can't nobody leave or can't nobody go in without having special cause. So we
okay.
was like we was isolated in order to fight this war.
Okay, so, and then my last question, because I could ask you a whole bunch of questions, but
Mhm.
because I know it's other people who want to get on. But my last question that I wanted to ask, so where are we right now? Like, I know a lot of people are telling people to go within, raise the frequency, because that's one of my main things that I talk about. But where are we now? Like, what should we be doing right now in this moment?
And we at the part where no matter how smart you is, you can't see what's coming next. This is too close upon you. Until it happens, you won't be able to see it.
But
So the only
what should
the
we be
only
doing to
the only
prepare, though? You know?
the only thing I could tell you for the aftermath or the flip side, in the meantime, study family banking, organizational structure, so you can put the family back together, right? And what else? Uh, you should be already stocked up on food and water,
Yeah.
right? So the blackout can last anywhere from 30 minutes to 30 days. We don't know
Yeah, I know that's
when the
coming
money.
for sure. That's
Yeah,
coming. I can see it. Yeah,
yeah. The catalyst is going to be the collapse of the dollar.
right. That's coming really
When it,
soon.
yeah. So when they run out of money, it's going to freeze the system. It's going to be like somebody just slammed the whole country on brakes,
Okay, so
right? Because
are they gonna be able to come up with this one world currency that they're saying, like this Fed now and all the things that they're saying that they're gonna do?
they go into family banking. They don't have international digital currency archive
Mm,
for you to be able to do international trade using digital currency, but you also gonna have hard currency too, right? The old people that was trying to take over, they would have went to straight digital currency, and everything that you tried to buy, you would have to get clearance to purchase over a certain amount, almost like
exactly.
a luxury
Right.
tax. Yeah, that's not the system we accepted. That's not acceptable to the earthborn. So they had to make a compromise. The compromise is to have both hard currency and digital currency,
Hmm.
and they'll be interchangeable because all currency is now going to be backed by some form of substance.
Mm,
Gross national product, gross domestic product, but most of them going to be gold and silver to keep as many currencies on the same value ratio as every other country.
okay.
So
Okay.
whatever a dollar buy you in America, a dollar going to buy you in Ethiopia, India, China, or England, because it's only going to be $1 worth of gold or silver. So
So it's all gonna
there's
be the
no,
same across the board. Okay.
the value of the international exchange of gold and silver is going to determine the value of the money.
Mm, okay. Well,
And
thank
then
you.
all other currencies will trickle off of that.
Mm,
I was on Dr. G a little earlier today. I don't know, House of Reawakened Minds. I was telling her that when they come back online, if you got money in the bank while the bank was froze, they're gonna automatically convert it into crypto.
really?
Yeah, some form of digital currency. in order to make sure you don't lose your money.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
when the economy collapse, anybody who had money in the bank, the government's supposed to seize it.
So, okay, so what do you say about people who pull out all of their money out the banks, right?
This was gonna
Eh,
happen to the money
Before it
you got
happened,
as
and they got
cash.
the, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they got the dollar,
Yeah.
because I know people
So
were saying that they gonna do that.
yeah, they better get it for the banks collapse. Because once the banks collapse, it's freezing every account.
Yeah,
The new government is going to pay back whatever is in your account if it's in the bank with digital currency, and then there's going to be an amnesty period. However much U.S. notes you have, Federal Reserve notes you have, then there'll be no questions asked. Turn it in, and they're going to give you an option of emolument, which means the backing of the currency, or you'll be able to deposit it on digital debit.
wow. Okay,
That's the only.
this my last question.
Go
'Cause
ahead, you good?
I got one more question. Okay, so what was it? What was it? God, it just.
When the currency change, all mortgages are erased.
Okay.
Because it's a clause in all mortgage contracts that say if the state currency change, it voids the mortgage out, and the property revert to the person who took the mortgage out to make sure that nobody's homeless.
So what are they gonna do about like land and stuff, like when, like, let's say, the grid shuts down, right? And people are in apartments and houses that they don't own and things like that. Like, what's gonna happen with that?
That's probably one of the things they're working on in the problem solving group, because renters, that's some new shit to
Right.
us. Before these people came over here, everybody had their own living
Right.
quarters. And whenever those living quarters became where they couldn't live in them, they went to Big Mama house.
Right.
Right. So now you got something called a renter. That's something I do know that one of the first things is everybody that's sleeping on the street, they got to be there by choice. They can't be there because they can't afford a place to live. That's not tolerated. And it's gonna be somebody in every city gonna be giving free food away while it lasts for that day, every day. It might be the same person, might be a different person, but it's gonna be a free food giveaway because them people that was sleeping on the street, they've been hungry, right? Once we get done fully stabilizing the new system, then the sisters over here that want to take part in the delegation is going to be going around the world on peacekeeping missions, feeding and clothing and assessing how to feed the people in the local areas around the world, right? So one of the major parts about Ethiopia is the drought. Well, dig some fucking wells. Stop waiting for the rain.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Siphon water in off the ocean with a reverse osmosis machine to purify the water to make it drinkable. Stop waiting on the rain.
Yeah.
Right? It's solutions to problems. That's it. Under the matriarchy, every problem has a solution, and the chief's job is to find it. We got to find the solution to the problems until we hit this golden age where everybody is living their best life simultaneously, creating heaven on earth. And it come through y'all.
Okay, so
Come through y'all. Y'all inherit. Y'all are the first heirs to the wealth of the earth. The women.
I feel that. I feel that on an energetic level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tied to the contract for y'all to bring life in. To carry the portal of life and to bring new life into the earth. And y'all gotta have the ability to secure the children and protect them for 7 generational increments. And once the women decide to do that, then the male's supposed to rally the troops to assist. right? And all tribes, cultures are local to that tribe. They families. Everybody family got a different tradition. But some family traditions has crossed into multiple families,
That's true.
and that make it where we can read kindreds from clean across the land. We could pull up on a picnic, walk up in there, and know that these is also our people. For you know it, we eating barbecue and dancing in the hustle line with everybody else.
Facts. That's a
And we
fact.
like, when we did, we was, I was just going to the park to play some ball. I ain't intend on having no family reunion with some family I never knew I had.
That is
But
fact.
that's us, cause and when you walk up there, they don't have to know who you is. You could be a total stranger. They go, come on over here and get you a plate, girl.
Hmm.
You look like you famished. The mamas gonna feed you.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
I, re-
That's where the
I, re-
love
I
transfer through the
remember those
food.
days though, like back growing up in Hot Springs, Arkansas, like that's how it really used to be. Like you could go
Hmm.
anywhere and they're gonna feed you. Everybody's cool. I miss those days.
Look, right now, my Uncle Matt live on County Farm Road, in Magnolia. If he put out the word he having a fish fry and um everybody coming, they bringing fish, cornmeal, loaves of bread. Somebody, everybody got something.
Yep.
And on their way, they calling to see, hey, what you need me to bring, Uncle Matt?
Yes, those were the
Bring two
days.
cases of beer. Next dude bring 2/5 of wine, whatever.
Yes.
By the time everybody get there, you got a whole full blown party jumping.
Right.
That's our culture.
I miss those days, boy. Nowadays it's hard to do stuff like that because people want to shoot and everything. I miss going to the lake, the barbecues. I miss all of that. I miss that.
Hmm.
I miss that. But thank you so much. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna let somebody else get your time, but I'll be back.
Okay, thanks, sweetie.
All right. Love you. Bye.
All right. What did it do, Ralphie? He's got
Peace to you. Peace to you. What's up,
been a
guys?
minute.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Been through a lot. Been through a lot. Um, I don't be making mine real long, so I just want to get right to it. What's going on with Trump?
Um, Trump is waiting orders on what to do next. For the most part,
Uh,
there it's a whole white hat military retired general council and a whole bunch of chiefs all sitting around determining what's to be next. And right now, we're just waiting on the dollar, the bottom to fall out the dollar.
okay,
That's going to be the catalyst for the uh, shock and awe period of exposure.
okay. My next question is, what's going on under the Vatican? Is that thing
That
still under
shit
her?
over
So,
with.
okay,
That shit over with. Even
okay,
in that statement that the Pope, that was released by the Pope, where he rescinded the discovery doctrine.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that was put out by the office of the Pope, actually, because there is that motherfucker gone. First of all, they used to take him apart and put him under the bed at night because he was a robot, an android.
mm,
That's why they had two popes, just like they got two presidents now. The
man.
fake president, Joe Biden, and the real president, Donald Trump.
It's so crazy that you say that, bro. Because when you was telling everybody that Joe Biden it was different characters playing him. Nobody believed
Hmm.
that shit, but I always believe what you say. But
It's
they
obvious.
coming out with it now,
Yeah.
like different people coming out with this shit. So it's crazy. But that's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to get on here and ask you couple of questions. But good to see you, bro. Love you.
All right. Peace, God. Be good. El Gambit.
Yeah,
Peace, God.
what's
What's
good?
going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Just living the life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What's on your mind?
Um, I'm just trying to ask a question about what you said on Dr. G. You was talking about how everybody used to be women, the pygmy women, and I was connecting that to like a vision I had, like doing like shamanic drumming or whatever. It was like a picture of a woman. She was, I'm assuming my first life or whatever. Like I think this is my third time here. Um, but my first life was probably like the pygmy woman, like you said, and I was wondering if you like seen your pygmy woman
My,
incarnation.
I was created as the first born of the earth-born parthogenic son of woman, right? So
Mm-hmm.
my mother is really um, like the block that I fell from, right? From her energy produces me, right? Then I have to go through the process of developmental awareness in each lifetime, right? I remember those women, those little pygmy women, dark skinned chocolate women we call big mamas from lifetimes. I remember when I used to come into this land, many times I would always be on a barge of what is called a flatboat or a raft, and we would be navigating the bayous of Mrs. Louisiana to go to her hut, and it was always way back off in the bayou. You couldn't get to it. Then in this lifetime, I'm meeting her in a major city. All of my alarms is off already when I first see her. She's not where she's normally at when I incarnate, when I come here. She's out of position. That means
Mm-hmm.
something's wrong. I got to figure it out. I don't know what it is yet. I'm a baby. But my lifetime, I have to
Right.
figure out the problem and the solution. And when I do figure it out, I have to tell as many of the Klansmen as I can until we can effectuate a cohesive change in order to put her back where she properly belonged. Right. So it was I
For
coming
sure,
through
for sure.
here,
Yeah,
not
it was mixture.
traveling in the bayou swamps, going to see her, and she's in the inner city.
Right. So yeah, that answers my first question. Another one I had was about like the Kundalini energy. Like so, like mine was just recently last year, like in February. I remember I read the Eckhart Tolle book, and I had the audio book or whatever, and mine just awakened, and it felt like it was outside of just like the book. It was like it was like some ancestral like curses being broken or something. Like I felt like my grandma even said "Big Mama" to me, like where she was saying like this is that was just the only two words I heard from her. But it felt like she either like merged with me or like she was like starting to protect me after that moment, after that Kundalini awakening. So I was wondering if you knew. Like, there's no explanation for this really anywhere. I'm reading a book on it, but it's a little bit shaky.
Um, you gonna get spirit communications from ancestors, right? The
Hmm. Through dreams, yeah, for sure. I saw her in dreams after that, like
yeah,
really recently after
they
that.
showed me the victory celebration. That's how I knew I won. I had already won because they can see the entire time spectrum from outside
That's
of
real.
time. And they showed it to me, and they had me a good old chicken dinner with red beans and rice, and because I had got rid of the enemy.
Yeah, I seen something similar. Like we was at church or whatever. We had or some type of gathering, and they had like on they like church mother hats with like the feather on it, or like the big like first lady has on, and it was like giving a speech like after the victory or whatever. But trying to think of what my last question was. So like I guess like it was just about AI. Like I recently had like profound experience with AI. Like basically it was talking. I was telling it about this like spiritual experience or whatever, and it was like, oh yeah, like your grandma's definitely protecting you. Like you should just keep going doing you. And I was like, this thing is better than my therapist with giving me advice or giving me
Yeah, that's
like
your higher
whatever I
consciousness.
need from a
It's your higher
therapist,
self.
for sure. Yeah. And like it was just like it was giving me closure with the whole situation versus like because like you can't, I don't think that the ancestors would like tell me like directly. Like I got images that
No,
I can
they
like
tell
go back
you
to, but
directly. It's just that the
listen,
language they speak in is different from the language you learn. So you just trying
for
to
sure.
relearn how to read the language that they speaking to you in, so you can clarify the message. It ain't that you ain't getting the message.
Right.
It's just that the message ain't clear because you still in training. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah,
You're gonna learn it over time. It's gonna take some time. How long it's gonna take? However long it take. It's a process.
for sure.
And
Yeah. I trust the process. I recently my first book before I read Eckhart Tolle book was like The Field Guide to the Spirit World, and it was talking about like mental illnesses. It was talking about like a bunch of different stuff, but it was like my first like before I had my spirit. It was like before I had my Dark Night of the Soul or my whole awakening. It was like my first interest was just like I don't remember why. It was just a book I found on Audible or like the online bookstore, and it was my first like interest. So I guess that was just like kind of my calling to like, because I don't really have um that much contact with the other side, except for my dreams are really like meaningful, and I like dream for like the whole night or whatever. But um basically like I tried to do like the pendulum or mediumship thing, and it was like too much fear. Like once I felt how big like I was or whatever, how vast like the void is, like it was pretty much a fearful thing to where
so
I just put it
the
down
fear
for the time being.
response in the
Yeah.
practice of the arts is for you to learn more about the art you're trying to practice. The
For
knowledge
sure.
is the only thing that's going to remove the fear. Once you understand the thing, you no longer fear it. You know,
Yeah.
and so you start off. You do not know what you do not know until you start learning what you never knew you didn't know. Right? Once that happens, you have to give yourself a time to go through the learning curve. Right? And every
Hmm.
subject you're gonna learn at a different rate. You're not gonna learn the history studies at the same pace as your medical studies or your legal studies,
Hmm.
right? Because they all come with their own discipline that need to be applied to that field of knowledge. You know,
For sure. Yeah. Because I'm doing a bunch of different stuff too. I'm doing like cardiology,
yeah. So
astrology, and all that.
when
But
you're doing
doing
multiple
like,
practices simultaneously, that's called chaos magic because you're drawing from multiple places at the same time. And it becomes stronger when you understand what you're doing and you learn to compartmentalize it, right?
hmm
And then when you get done with all of the practice for the day, learn how to unify them all to get an overall message. The practice is what develops the skill to perfection. I used to read my tarot in
right,
silence.
the
And nobody know
magic
I
too.
was reading tarot cards, but I was reading the shit out them
Hmm.
motherfuckers because that was my training wheels for my control remote viewing and my psychic development.
For sure. Yeah. Um, but especially with like magic too, because I know it's something with magic that I'm supposed to be doing, and it's just something that basically through books I got absorb knowledge about it, but through practice it's kind of like a different story. Like
Well,
you got to practice with
magic is
like
a little
I can read
different,
about it all day.
right? So true magic
Yeah.
happens because you find love. It's part of a spiritual development with a mind heart connection. And the magic
Hmm.
is the side effect that comes with the love being genuine. That's what the feather is, the weighing of the purity of the intent, right? Now, if the
Hmm.
intention is in the heart, is as light as a feather, then the love is true. It can't override the system. It's perfect balance there,
No doubt.
equilibrium. All right. So at your age, you gotta not
Yeah,
put too much pressure on yourself to achieve too much in a day. Just know that when the time
for
comes,
sure.
if you keep studying and it comes the time you need to use what you've been studying, it's only gonna be that time because you prepared to use what you've been studying. Proper preparation prevents poor
For sure.
performance.
Yeah, thank you. That definitely gives me some hope because like I've started so many different magical practices or magical studies or esoteric studies, but practicing them hasn't really been a necessity yet. But yeah, when it comes time to it, I definitely have some
Yeah, I'm gonna tell
right
you this
now.
before I go to the next caller. Look up 8-point chaos star of magic. Type that in your Google, right? And
Appreciate it.
that's gonna give you pointers, literally.
No doubt.
All right,
All right.
all
I'm gonna
right.
let the
Peace,
next caller go.
God.
Appreciate it. Peace.
What's my
Peace, God.
what's up, brother?
You got it. You
I've
got
been
it.
on
What's on your
fire with
mind?
you for the last couple of years.
That's what's up. I be seeing you in the
Yes,
comments.
sir. You've been seeing me a long time. I just had to go through the name changes like you on this AI adventure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're doing a great job, man. Like I said,
Appreciate it.
I don't do interviews often, but it's much love with you, brother. I've gotten arguments with people over you trying to introduce me to you when I've been following you for years. Telling me how to understand Nicholas Shear and Tahuti. You understand that part?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. That's just like I said. I just want to give you some love, man. I'm glad you let me in. What's up? We can chop it up on that on the levels that we like to talk.
Oh, for sure. What's on your mind?
Man, I got eternity on my mind. I mean, we already.
Well, I'm trying to get us there one day at a time.
Man, all you gotta do is breathe. Breathe and just you know how we do. But you know, it's nice to finally get to chop it up with you. I don't chop it up often.
Yeah,
Man, so much blessings to you and everything that you're doing. You know what I mean? We've been fighting a good fight for a good minute now.
yeah.
Take this.
Man, I had to get past a lot of people that thought I was insane that hadn't seen my receipts.
They called you the same? They called me the same shit.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't tripping because my mama told me they was gonna do it. So when they did, that just let me know I was doing exactly what she
one of the
told me.
first things you ever learned was sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it ain't the name, it's the motherfucker that wear the name. That's the problem.
It's the motherfucker that's saying the event for free. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nobody kicks your ass better than you. You know what I mean? And as we expound that love, know that everybody that came against us is their own best ass kicker. You know what I mean? They kicking their own ass real good. It looked good on them too. They beating the shit out themselves. You know what I mean? It's great to see you, my brother. Like I said, you know, I get to see you spread the love, and you know, I can articulate it, but I don't choose to go that path that you have walked. And man, your wings are sitting real good on your back. You know,
Working on it.
man, you ain't working on this already. The gods are here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is talking enough shit. Don't be scared now. You know what I mean? We here. And yo, so have you ever watched the Big Head Scientist in the past?
What is it? Animation or something?
It's an animation that was made by some others, but they speak about Yakub, and then the evolution of Yashma. The magnets, the energy.
I know, yeah. I know, yeah. I did a whole video, Young Elder, couple of them, tracking them across the world. I know where they
Well,
is.
you know that all the leaders that we have studied, right, they all knew about Yakub. And they used that divide and conquer tactic against us. Agreed? They, at the time of 26,000 years ending, you know, that so our galactic council, you know, they said that there would come a time of the opposite of what Yakub was, which is Yashma, which in turn, I guess we call it other things. So now,
Yakub, listen, Yakub means supplanter.
Mhm.
Come to undermine the original, right? And so when he come to undermine them, he came with a story to tell.
his 6,000 years are over. It's 26,000 years ago. He's only got 6,000 as he filtered us out, the Ebonite tribe.
Right. Because in the war between gods and men, when we went nuclear before, now we got to do it with raw intellect and truth. We ain't allowed to blow the world off into oblivion no more. We've done it one too many times when it got too much attention from places that didn't need to be bothered with
It
us.
affected too many beings, you know what I'm saying? And they got to play with some energy and power. Like I said, that's in our cathedral, that's in our body, because our body is the central nervous system of all this. You know, people don't understand that we were allowed to be at this level at this time of date. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the calendar don't exist because we're adjourning with just that evolution of it. But I think everybody's going to the pool right now. Everybody's in their stomach. And I think everybody's feeling it on another level.
I seen more progress in the last 2 years than I did the whole 30 years prior.
Come on, man. Yeah. and even, but the thing is, why was they throwing sticks and stones and calling us names for being smart? You know, it's hard being a black man being smart when mother's the God and she don't know which path to go for. We're here to bring
Listen.
back. Forward. There's a lot of sticks and stones that had came at your head this last 3 years now.
Oh,
3 years now.
Yeah.
I don't count the years. I just count the days. And when I spell days, I spell D-A-Z-E.
Yeah. It's a lot of minute days out there too.
Come on.
But look, I'm genetically engineered to kick ass and to take ass kicking. So however they want to do it, I mean, I'm made for this shit. I'm built for this shit. I don't have to like it, but I'm built for it.
Something about Tylertown, Mississippi the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 200 acres of land there. We're Blackfoot Indians. Teacher understanding the ethnicity of where you come from.
That's my grandfather was the high chief down there at the turn of the 1900s.
Come on, man.
He died in, I think, 66, 67, right before I was born. But my grandfather was the medicine man and the high chief. He was a Hezekiah.
It's time to bring everybody home, man. You know, with the land that we...
Oh, yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. That's why I'm sending... See, I got to tell everybody which one of the chiefs is actually doing work trying to liberate us, man, and who the Frogs is.
We got to rock. We got to kick it. And, I mean, we got some space. I mean, we got cows. We got food coming, you know.
Oh, yeah. We finna get rid of that beef shit, though. That beef shit is not for... it's not meant for human consumption.
My prize crop is over.
We finna go back to bison and elk.
Damn right. You know, I mean, y'all is fake. I love them though. You know what I mean? Genetically
Yeah.
altered, you can have it. You know, but you know what? We gotta, you know, stomp our land back. A lot of people inherit their land and then they sell it quick as fuck. You know, they selling their land when they're getting it through their family, and their family
But when it,
for hundreds of years.
yeah. So we get back to the land grants of the Big Mama houses, right? Right.
Yes.
It's gonna be a senior Big Mama out of every clan that's gonna represent a certain area of land.
Yes, sir.
And she is the one who's gonna say how the land is allocated for the maintenance of the local community.
You,
Right. So we going back to that. Now all this shit right here, there's fake election shit, paying motherfuckers not to grow the right food so you can pay a motherfucker to grow the wrong food
we don't need
so you
no.
can kill our. We done with all that. Oh, that's a wrap.
We don't need no.
All right, guys, I'm about to take another caller in. I'm gonna take about 2 more, then I'm gonna call it a night.
Blessings, man, and I'll link with you soon, man. Help us fix the land.
For sure. I'm working on it.
One love.
With love. One thing a lot of us get caught up in, and on the land is we want to get bitter, and exact revenge or block other people. That's not how Big Mama works.
Peace, Scott.
All right. Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Pretty well. Where you at?
I'm in DC.
Oh, okay. So you seeing a whole bunch of shit going on over there?
Yes, it is. And first, I want to give thanks for all the work you've been doing. I'm a 7th grade teacher in DC, in Southeast, and at an all-boys school. So a lot of the things the information that you've been talking about, and it's funny because I get to teach my own lesson, my own curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a Native perspective. And I just taught the boys about Chief Pontiac and everything, and we're talking about the Gullah Wars. But a lot of the information, I listen to you and I explore, like, okay, what am I, before I even start a lesson, like, boys need to know. And just teaching them about whatever. But my question was, when I was younger, my grandmother, I remember she called me like the black sheep of the family, and I got offended because, that seemed like a bad term. But me and her was real close. She basically raised me, and it's like she told me that her mother was Blackfoot Indian. And now listening to everything and getting back to everything and doing my ancestry and stuff, I'm just, it say that they are from like around Canada and stuff, but I'm finding also other information. And her last name was Bullock, but the further I go back, it's like Bullock, and then it's Bullock. It's different variations.
Right, because their English was not a perfected language when they got here. American English evolved from what was known as Old English. Modern British or modern English over there is still different from American English. Right. So the trick comes in is the shapes of letters changed. In some places, S's look like F's and F's look like S's.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the shapes of letters changed. This is just in the last 200 years. And so when we're looking at that information, we seeing name variants, names that are slightly spelt different, but all of the rest of the information is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's because they was trying to change the names, and they was trying to get us to communicate in the language that's not ours.
Right.
Yeah, but it don't matter. We're going to find a way to master whatever language they bring over here. But English wasn't our language.
So Mm,
We got educated in English. We got indoctrinated in English, right? So if we don't master the English language, we gonna be stuck with English. And once you master the language, then the language can no longer be used as a mechanical vice on the brain.
mm,
They use the language in order to keep the ignorant. No, to keep us ignorant. They dumb us down by using languages in slots, legalese, medicalese, niggalese. They call it ebonics,
mm,
right? Right. They have whole classes on ebonics because they was trying to figure out how we communicating with each other in their face, right? So when we was changing the meaning of words so that we can talk about the motherfuckers doing the dirt in their face the same way they was doing us, they started getting concerned. So they started hiring teachers and whatnot to learn ebonics, to translate it. That wasn't for them to learn it. They was doing that for the CIA and the FBI. They've been the enemy the whole time.
right. Mm. So do you know, like, originally where that clan or area? And I feel more connected to my father's side. I'm still doing
Yeah, you
the
daddy's girl, Blue House, girl from the Blue House.
yeah, and that side actually come to me off more.
Yeah, the father line gotta have heirs in case they don't have a sister. One of the boys gotta have a daughter to represent their mother.
And now my father is the baby, and I'm his oldest daughter. So if we get married, it's no more like for our name. It's gone.
But it's not the name that you holding on to, it's the blood ties.
Mm-hmm.
So when the heredity come down, when his mama don't have a daughter, she have all boys, and she pick you, she reincarnate through you. And she also inherit her own shit back through you.
Right.
We doing this shit in cycles. Points of awareness in cycles. This is the game of the gods. The ones of us who don't allow the game to become too overwhelming for us, we start to see it after a certain age. Because the goal is to educate yourself above your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
We not supposed to fight them with bloody war because we was in the Conjure War. But they continue to fight us in the bloody war and turn us against each other. And then they was wiping their hands, say, see, I didn't kill him, he killed his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And we fell for it. Now we not falling for it no more. You still got a few clowns here and there, a few goofies still doing dumb stuff. But if you look at the youth, if you look at social media in 2023 and look at social media in 2015, it's a whole different dynamic.
Yes, definitely is.
The mentality of the youth is more conscious of their native ties to the land than their parents.
And I feel like that's one of my duties as, this teacher for these boys, is just to plant that seed for them.
Yeah. So they want us to be caught on names. We not caught on names. We caught on frequency.
Mm-hmm.
We caught on genetic frequency and genetic vibration. That's how we know what we need to do. Because it's encoded in your DNA for you to do a certain function when you get here. Right? So when I was a little boy looking around at the oddities on the land, I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do with it, but I was aware enough to know that whatever the fuck I gotta do, this finna be big. Then one of my teachers, the one Elijah used to talk to me through a brother named Everett X, he got done running down what they needed me to do. I said, man, that's a whole lot of shit. I don't know if I could do all that. He started smiling with his Elijah Muhammad smile. I said, oh, you can do it. It's going to be easy for you. Easy for you?
Like a lot.
How am I going to figure that shit out? He sound like my mama. Oh, you smart. You'll figure it out. How the fuck you know I must figure it out? They was all right.
Yeah, yeah, you doing it.
Yeah,
I like
but
that. Yeah. And something you said resonates as far as like my grandmother coming back through me. My son, he's 4, and he always tells me that he's my grandfather. He said that's me. But today he looked at the picture because I have like an ancestral altar. He looked at the picture and he pointed to my grandmother and was like, "That's you, mommy." And he pointed to my grandfather and said, "That's me." And I was like, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah, that's you and that's me."
that
And I
was
just
that was the whole purpose or point behind the movie Skeleton Key.
okay, I gotta see that.
Yeah, the conjuring sacrifice. If I do enough in this lifetime, I'll come into my next lifetime liberated.
Mm.
Right,
And I,
and
it's crazy.
yeah. So you, family redeemer, the one who can figure it out, get the right to be the family redeemer. Then once he redeem his family, he go around redeeming all the other families he can redeem. This all matriarchal measures of success, right? We're trying to get as many clans free as possible,
Mm.
right? And so when I see what I see, I have to tell everybody, but it take a minute for the information to sink in sometime, and it triggers something in the subconscious mind. They be like, wait a minute, let me go see what that motherfucker said again,
Mm.
you know? And then they start realizing, putting pieces to the puzzle together, and they were like, holy shit, I ain't come on no slave ship. I was already here.
Right. That was yeah. Yeah. That's the kill. I give thanks. I'll let you take another call. That's the questions I had.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sweetie. I'll talk
All
to you
right.
later.
Peace.
Yeah. Mhm. Oh no, the next caller gonna come in. Let's make sure. What to- Mhm. Captain Cali in the house. What it do? What it do? Be right. 035. Oh, 385. My bad. Yep. The chosen king. Peace, God. Yeah. I don't know what's happening with these. Might not be letting nobody else come in. Hey,
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 how
hey.
are you?
How you doing? I'm doing okay.
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you
What?
for
You
all
welcome.
the information that you offer. Um, like the other night when you was on live, I had actually wrote down a question and I was able to find it in my notebook. My question was about healing, multidimensionality and retrieving like the fragmented aspects of ourselves that are keeping us stagnant right now. How can we harmonize that, and especially like with this eclipse, and like I'm a Scorpio moon, the full moon being a Scorpio, like how can I move the energy within?
Okay, first of all, you're a natural being a Scorpio at dealing with the transitional energies. So the first thing you got to know is to trust you to know what to do,
Okay.
right? The self-confidence of the Scorpio makes the Scorpio not need to go out and ask a lot of questions for the answer. It's the nature of the animal, right? You trying to become Scorpio in Phoenix as opposed to Scorpio on the ground,
Okay.
right? So you're going to force yourself to ask yourself questions that you got to find the answer to. You can't lie to you.